welcome to another pick a group, pick a card reading. Today we're getting into another gossip. What is the current gossip on you today? What's the juicy tea? What's the sensationalized news? What's the press today? Okay, group one. Oh, and I also would like to give a special happy birthday shout out to Ed Sheeran. And we thank you so much for bringing us royalties from Play Deluxe, and we'll see you in court. Let's get into it. Group one, you are the Disco Cherries. Group two, you are the black and white symmetrical as fuck heart-shaped ass. And then you are group three, you are the pink and gold tiger. That's a tiger, right? Yeah. Oh no. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in your selection. Hi group one, welcome to your selection. So you chose the Disco Cherries, and let's get into it. Okay, what is today's gossip about you? What do they have to say now? Okay, because they always going around streamlining some falsehood. Okay, so let's see what's going on group one. What is the current gossip on you? The current gossip is about somebody or something that got disillusioned. Okay, there's somebody, you know, in your home that you don't want in your home. Okay, these could be other children or something like that. There are people around that you just don't want to be around them or something like that, and people may be gossiping about this. This feels like a social setting, perhaps, like what happened? Because it's like something where you really just feel so isolated and separated. Like you could have, I don't know if you are unhappy or if you are sad or depressed or lonely. You could have some good people in your life, but I think that this situation, there's a group of people that like the gossip could be that there's a group of people that is harassing you, and that you really just don't want to talk to them or something like that. Like people keep saying, like, I don't know, people keep trying to make you relating to this person or something like that. They keep trying to relate you to this person. Maybe there's a comparison getting drawn between you and this person, but I think that every time they do these comparisons, this person keeps getting, you know, I don't know, they keep falling on the short end. And you know, I think that this is like a comparison between you and people who are jealous of you, and there's no comparison to be made when we've already proven technically that they're envious. So there's no comparison about beauty, talent, skills, or gifts. There's no comparison to be made when you're just jealous, because you were not the one comparing. You were not the one, like, I don't know, it's like you were not you were not involved in this matter. Like, and I think that like this is a gossip, or this gossip could involve a one-sided conflict that you were in, and it's like this was like a big fight, and you're like, I don't know you, and I don't talk to you, and I still don't know you, and I still don't want to talk to you. It's like something where there could be social media stalking in this situation. Like people keep going to your rivalries. They're like going to your rivalries like social media account or something to like draw comparisons or something like that. It's something where you just really, I'm hearing this could have been years, and you really don't know these people because you paid them dust. It's like something where there's been a rivalry or conflict in your family or in your immediate circle with people who they thought were related to you. Like something where they thought these people were related to you. They thought that was your kin. They thought that was people who they thought that you were having a beef or something like that, or they literally, I don't know, something where it was some type of drama that was escalating around you. It's like you became the center of a drama, and you do not know these people. And I think that like something where they keep going in social media accounts, and people, they could be playing music or they could be making commentary about you, and you're just not following it because you've never really been in tune with it. Like something where you don't know what they're talking about. And I think that this is the biggest disillusionment, is because this was the irony maxer, is that you didn't know them. Okay, you did not know them, or you weren't paying attention or something like that. Okay, group one, yeah, you're a goddess. It's like something where you have been so totally expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, whatever these unhealed feminine energies were doing, it was like something where it was clear that they were envious of you in the way that your butt is shaped or something like that. And they keep trying to draw comparisons to somebody that's envious, like something where they keep like playing music, or they keep trying to like express around a conflict, and you're just like, I haven't been listening. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't read your caption. I don't listen to your music. I'm just here to determine how you're trying to bite my aesthetic, like something like that. It's like something where they're trying to talk about something. You're like, I'm not talking to you. What are you talking about? I'm just a goddess that's very wise, connecting with nature, has a tremendous life force current that's pure, and you know, your sensuality just be centralizing, friend. Okay, your sensuality be centralizing, and I got the jelly team very, very triggered. Okay, friend, what is, yeah, this addict. Okay, this addict, somebody is obsessed with you. Okay, we have the rescuer, and then we have the avenger. Okay, so the current gossip on you today is that you're a rescuer. The current gossip on you today is somebody's obsessed with the letter E or C or letter D. This person has a drug addiction. Like somebody was hooked on a methamphetamine, or this person, they haven't been able to keep their home together because of addiction. Okay, so the current gossip on you, I don't know if this is you, but it just definitely just feels like you don't really have these addictions like other people have. And so the current gossip could be that you're a goddess, but I think that sometimes people could feel very, very judged by you because you don't have addictions that where you're like lacking integrity, honesty, or have like an addictive pattern that has authority over your spirit. Like you are a goddess, and you are divine feminine energy that doesn't hurt the nature. Like drug addiction, like abusing a substance is such a harmful pollution to your body and the environment. Like imagine as a methamphetamine ruining your hair, skin, nails, and teeth, and like literally cognitively declining with an addiction to a drug or substance or some other kind of behavioral pattern where you're literally degrading. People are saying that you've had a righteousness on behalf of society, and you have really extended a compassion to drug addicts. And the gossip is that, you know, most recently you have rescued a drug addict or something like that, something where they saw you rescuing an animal, rescuing a drug addict, rescuing somebody, you know, that needs some help or something like that. Rescuing somebody, providing strength and support to them while they're in a crisis. And you didn't expect anything in return. You're doing this to help people, okay? Because a lot of these people have addictions that they don't have an authority over. Like they don't have an authority over themselves, and they see that you came in as their authority. This could feel like a lot of men. They feel like you rescued them. These men feel like you came into their life as a goddess, and you showed your heart to men that were struggling with addictions because they had poor self-esteems. And when men, not just men, anybody, but like, you know, I think that a big contributor to addiction is low self-esteem, like not feeling worthy of, you know, not feeling that your spirit is worthy to honor it, okay? They see that you're very big on justice and fairness, and that you play devil's advocate a lot. And they know that this righteousness that you represent has really, you know, you don't know how you have helped people recognize and confront their addictive behaviors, and have helped them restore, you know, a big restoration project around their spirit where they have ultimately compromised their integrity and honesty in a way. And even if it hasn't been harmful to others, this could be literally just addictions are harmful to yourself, okay? And so when you came around with this life force, nature, sensuality, wisdom, and righteousness, and you're providing of strength and support to others in a crisis. You didn't have any expectations of return, and I feel like the return on your investment was greater than you ever could have expected, because you never expected a thing. You just wanted to help people with addictions, friend. You're so sweet. Okay. And you feel like you have been right in this matter. They feel like you have been just in this matter, and you don't even know. These people, you've been their life force. Okay, so this could be somebody that you have a mutual dream with. Okay, so let's see. Group one. What's the current gossip on you? Let's get some more information. What's the current gossip on you? Group one. I think you help people draw attention to their karmic decision making, where they've been making karmic, like, this is like people who can't stop making the same decisions over and over again, and they keep getting the same negative results, and it's literally because of addictions that they don't have an authority over. Maybe these are even addictions that are subconscious. Subconscious behavior, subconscious decision makings that are like addictions that have been self-sabotaging, or represent a poor self-esteem, or represent an addictive behavior, a coping mechanism, some other addictive pattern. Okay, something like that. Okay, so what did I say? Mutual dream. LOL. Okay, group one. And then we have the copycat. Okay, so I think that the current gossip on you is that you have a copycat. Okay, and I kind of feel like it was going this way, but there's been a karmic looping with a copycat, and I think that they see this person as an addict or as a child, and so they make a lot of excuses why it was okay for them to compromise their integrity and honesty. This copycat, the reason why they're copying you, they could be trying to claim that they had the same dream as you or something like that, but we don't really see them having the same dream. We never see them like some of them, they could be trying to say that they had a contribution to your high honor, or they had a contribution in a situation where there's like two people that have a mutual dream. And so this could be a third party that's a child or someone else that has been like copying you. And this is why they are a third party, is because like while you're having this like mutual dream, this third party is not, this is false. This person was just like, they were just bonded to you because you were a goddess, and so they started copying everything that you did. And now that you're really up or receiving high honor, or there's there is a fight for a foundation, or there's a fight for inheritance, or there's criminal punishment because they've really had it, they really have had compromised their integrity and honesty. You can't say like that you want to be honored for your contribution here when you've been compromising your integrity and honesty. That means that you've had a negative contribution. That means that you've had a negative impact. These people have been stealing your possessions, or they have been doing something else out of an addiction or a bond to a siren, or a bond to you as a goddess. And these people, I'm hearing that this mutual dream is between two people, and it's not the copycat. Okay, this copycat is a third party inhibition, where they just a witness to a very strong bond that has been serving the purpose of balancing the scales of justice for yourself and of society, and also helping cure addictions, rid corruption, hitting targets that were never previously imagined or attained. And so they keep coming, they were copying everything that you did, and they may have like tried to, like, they might have gotten a lot of clout around your name, and it was literally just a copying of you, and they're claiming that they had a contribution to your foundation, when it was not a contribution that was like that reflects them having the mutual dream. If they had a mutual dream, they would have never started harming you, okay? If they had a mutual dream as you, they would have never kept you needy in a matter. They would have never let you, like, they would have never been looping around this karma. They would have never been watching you in a crisis. They would have never exploited your female form. They would have never done something violent to try to stop you. And now they're claiming they were addicts, and now they're claiming to have had the same dream as you, and that was that you're not in the same dream, because this is a target that has not been attained or imagined before. So this was not something that you could have conceived, especially because they never really expressed a vision around it, or they never were able to develop the vision. They were just people who copied off of you and tried to like predict your behavior. Like, some of them are using some kind of algorithm, or some kind of random sampling, or some other maybe like technical device to try to predict your behavior in a matter, okay, around this dream, or around like the likelihood that you will be like balancing the scales of justice in a way, okay? This copycat, like, you know, they were trying to, like, you know, the gossip on you is that this copycat was an addict, and that, like, you know, this could literally be their gender dysmorphia. Like, they could be trying to build a defense around gender dysmorphia or something like that. But this, we recently learned and received divine intelligence that this person has attached onto the cause for a negative reason or a personal gain, and they're canceled for not actually being believers in this cause, especially if this is about Pride 365, LGBTQ, some other marginalized identity group or something like that. There is, like, these people do not believe in that. They're just mirroring your behavior in the hidden motivation to, like, their hidden motivation in mirroring your behavior and copycatting you is so that they can disrupt a very strong bond that you have with another person, or so that they can try to build a defense to avoid punishment for a situation where they've compromised their integrity and honesty. That's false. They're not a gender dysmorphia. They're not a member of Pride 365, especially because they were obsessed with your men, or they're obsessed with your romantic partners in your body. And if they were so Pride 365, or if they were so fluid, they would have never been attacking you for it, okay? Fluid people that's quite the opposite reaction that you should have had. Stop trying to use a gender dysmorphia or a sexuality issue as a defense as to why you're attacking someone. Like, I really can't. That's not a valid claim, okay? They're trying to receive honor for a contribution of copycatting, okay? When these people really have been exploiting you or doing something violent to you in a big way, okay? I think that these third parties are not romantic. They're people who you've had to rescue. Like I said, these could be other children or people that we feel sorry for, that we feel like, oh, maybe they did have an addiction, or maybe they did have gender dysmorphia, or maybe they did have like these other big issues that made them compromise their integrity and honesty, and that you and your mutual dream with your person have been, you know, doing this on behalf of society. And they were just, you know, now that they see that there's a defense that could be made, where we have compassion for their suffering or something like that. They were, you know, they want to act like they were a part of achieving the goal. That was not their intention. They were actually very envious of the way that you had, like, they were envious of your liberty to express your fluidity or sexuality, if this is about that. But this could be another cause with the Avenger, where you brought righteousness on behalf of yourself and addressed your personal freedom and liberty in a way. And it was because of a mutual dream that you have with someone else, it feels like a romantic partner, but it's definitely not this copycat. Because I think that what I'm also getting, that this, what you are learning in this situation, is that there was someone in this matter that were attacking you and exploiting your female form, compromising their integrity or honesty, because they were addicts and you were like this free, liberated person. They saw that you had connection to a white man or a white woman or white people. They see that you had a network. Like maybe you went to a school that was diverse. Maybe you went to school with white people. Maybe you went, like, I'm not, I don't want you to imagine white supremacy in this commentary. I'm not that person just because I have white friends or something like that. Like, I want, like, this could be about race, but this could be about something else. Just take it how it resonates. I really truly think that in this matter, these people they saw that you had a mutual dream in an unconventional relationship, like something where it was a very strong bond, and it represented a pure love, which means that there were no white supremacy ideologies. There was no rigid sexuality. There was no, you both were really accepting of each other. I'm hearing a man that you had, they might have been wealthy, or a woman, or a relationship where they saw a mutual dream. And this person, they could not resist you because you were a goddess. There was no wealth, class, you know what I'm saying? There was no race. There was no gender that could keep you separate from this person. They were obsessed with you. And when they saw that you had this liberty to, they felt like it was a privilege that you had to relate to these people. And they have really secretly been desiring to assimilate. They were secretly, they really hated, these people for having privileges, or they hated these people for having more affluence and wealth. And so when they saw that you were relating to these people who had affluence and wealth, they started to grow enraged. This was not because they had the mutual dream, or because they had a gender dysmorphia, or they had some other kind of addiction. It's literally, they just were copycatting you so that they can try to interrupt a very strong bond between you and a pure love, like someone that may be very different than you, an unconventional relationship where there's purity, devotion, true love. And a relationship that has been helping you get justice and bringing righteousness on behalf of yourself. When they see that this tech person, or they saw that this unconventional person was relating to you, this pissed them off. They grew enraged. It's not they were never able to relate to the mutual dream. They just started copying so that they can kind of create the illusion that they were relating in a way, okay? And this is the gossip as well. Brief illness. There was a lot of stress and negativity with this person because they didn't have authority over their inner spirit. It's like they saw you, your siren went off because they saw you as a goddess expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. They saw you when they first met you, your first impression. They saw your home, and they saw that your home was secured, like there were financial securities that were similar of a white person, or they were similar of a more affluent, wealthy person. They immediately started projecting their social class difference onto you because they didn't have enough information. They didn't have enough affluence or wealth to relate to you in a healthy way, or relate to your partners in a healthy way, right? You get really high honors, which means that a lot of you are assimilated into the dominant culture. But I think that when they came around you, they just felt so inferior that they were not able to really relate to your affluence, communication skills, that you were just the person that was meant to teach them with wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. And they saw lots of pictures of flowers. They saw you in nature a lot. They saw you, doing yoga or in a movement practice. They saw your career. They saw your education. They saw lots of certificates on the wall. They saw your emotional support pet. They saw your home, and they just started copying your home. Ever since they saw photographs of your home, or when in the first initial meeting, they knew that you were there on a strong mission, because they were so lesser, they were so much lesser than you. They were so inferior to you because they could never, not from the beginning, and they still don't comprehend, even after making this information accessible, they were never able to relate to you because they didn't have enough education, affluence, communication skills, or something like that. And if you were unconventional, they're like, oh, you had some type of privilege to relate to those people, and they're trying to keep I think this karmic loop is like that. It's like really you're the one that needs help with something, but you're the one that has to do a lot of the work to provide strength and support to others, and you didn't really have any expectations, and I think that you don't. And I think that, the universe is delivering justice in this matter, and we're giving you the high honor that you deserve. But there was so much stress and negativity around your affluence and wealth from the jump when they saw you, with this career or with this home that had the financial securities of a white person. It was like something where you addressed your personal liberty and had assimilated into the dominant culture, and they just grew so embittered that they were not able to relate to you guys, and they hated your partner for being with you. Like, why her, or why them? And it was like literally because they were relating to you. It was a pure love of devotion or something like that, where you guys really, you planned so much together, you achieved dreams and goals together, and they just kept coming around copying it to try to like make this person defensive and to create a displacement projection mechanism, such that where they are less intimidating than you, because you are such a high honor and you are their mutual dream. It can be intimidating to fulfill mutual dreams, but this copycat, they were like a stress negativity that was like a distraction or something that was less intimidating, where they were projecting their fear of their own self-empowerment or something like that. Okay, and you just had to like, they were not empowered, they were addicts too, but they had planned and they had been responsible in a way, and they met you in this intersection of technology and art, and you didn't have any expectations. So when you helped this person without any expectation, the return was like a high honor that you were not expecting. You were not expecting this rich gentleman or something like that to honor you. You were not expecting to find God within them. You were not expecting them to relate to you because of unconventional difference. And the fact that you had like these people grew embittered. They hate white people, or they hate you for having the privilege of relating, or having the privilege, having personal liberties, having personal freedoms like financial freedom or financial security. When they saw your home that it had all these flowers, or they saw your fashion and photographs in nature or something like that. Okay, they just started copying everything. Yeah, they bonded themselves to you in your house by copying everything that you did, because they knew that it would mean that they would get some type of financial freedom or something like that, by binding themselves to you. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, this copycat, they binded themselves to you, and they tried to act like it was a contribution to your honor, but it's literally just them not ever being comprehensible. Like, they were never comprehending is what I'm hearing. Okay, they were just copying to like look like they had been addressing their personal freedoms to try to attract people with a less intimidating version or something like that. But you and your person have a very strong bond, and this person is not, what I'm saying, they're not at all like, what I'm saying, they're not all getting the same outcome. They're not all getting, some of them are going to prison, okay, for compromising their integrity and honesty. Like, you might be an addict, you might be mentally ill, but you're aware of the law. Okay, so let's rock, friends. What is the what's the current gossip? Okay, what's the current gossip? That's wild. You didn't have any contribution. You were just a binding spell. I'm hearing somebody was a binding spell. Okay, with a copycat. Okay, someone, an identity thief. The Eight of Cups, yeah, the Six of Swords. Yeah, this was a third party that was a child or something like that. They were a child, and they're like, yeah, we're the Four of Cups, friend. They keep trying to act like, with the Three of Swords. This copycat was like a lot of, like, this was a third party. And if you were like, why is this a third party in my house or something like that? And it's because they binded themselves to your house. They were literally compromising their integrity and honesty, or doing something violent, towards you, so that you could not have a home. And then they created a disco illusion or a matrix illusion by copycatting everything that you did, and this binded them to your home. Okay, where they were really in a crisis and needed your support. Like they really just needed you a lot. And I think that they started copying you because they expected you to provide for them. And I think that you did help them without expecting anything in return. But when you learned that they were committing crimes or doing something negative, you were like, you were trying to act like you were addressing your personal freedoms. But this was literally you having an addictive behavior, and trying to make a defense of mental illness. Okay, the Four of Cups, some of them, they really wanted your partner or something like that, and this partner was not interested in them. This person saw them as a child, is what I'm hearing, LOL, with the Four of Cups. But I think that it's hard to release them because we hate to see this child in a crisis. We hate to see them go into prison. We wanted to bring them justice. We see them ultimately as being people that we served, or people that benefit from our mutual dream, benefit from your wisdom, life force, nature, and sensuality. But they were not, this was a binding. It was not them actually addressing their personal freedoms. So that's why they show up as the Four of Cups, because they were not actually, this proves that they were not, they were not trying to contribute to the mutual dream. They were not honoring the dream, that they were just an addict that was violent and compromising their integrity and honesty. Or maybe this wasn't an addiction. This was like intentional, just envy. And I think that we keep going around in a loop with these copycats because we see them as children, or we see them as addicts, or we see them as people who are ill and sick that need help and that need your strength and support in a crisis. But I think that, this is okay. You will heal them. I think that you will heal these people. You will provide strength and support to them, but they'll go to prison very healed. Okay, that's what I'm seeing, group 1. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the symmetry. Okay, symmetry. Okay, so what's the current gossip on you? Play Symmetry by Ed Sheeran. Happy birthday, Ed. It's Ed Sheeran's birthday, okay? Ed Sheeran brought us royalties for Play Deluxe as a charitable donation to Divas Can Manifest org, and helping making this information accessible to all. We'll see you in court. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. What is the current gossip on you, group 2? What is the current gossip on you? Okay, what's the current gossip on you, group 2? People could be gossiping about a music career that you have, or something like that. Something about you being in the music industry, or you being in an industry that you don't want to be in. And I think that you find the balance in the matter, but I think that there's people keep projecting their superficial, hidden motivations of sex, money, and power onto you. You're not like them, okay? So let's get more. You are very beautiful as well, as I'm hearing, group 2. What is the current gossip on you? Yeah, you're so beautiful serving. It's like something where they're like, we thought that you were here to chase sex, money, and power like we were. And you're like, no, I'm just here to serve you. I'll do all this for free. But you will give those royalties to Divas Can Manifest org, so that we can keep making this information accessible to all. And so that there's no, so that we're sure that you're not here to put your financial gain and control over imparting the spiritual insight, right? Okay, yeah. It's like something where you're really delighting and serving others with a free and loving heart. But, we know that people could be trying to take advantage of you. They see that you just serve freely. You give them a lot of the art for free. You give them a lot of the, ideas and the think pieces for free. You just provide a lot for these people. You give a lot of stuff for free. And I think you're delighted in doing this. But there are some people who want to take advantage. Like people who want to place their financial gain and control over imparting the spiritual insight. Like if you've worked on group projects with people and they haven't compensated you fairly in a matter, when they know that this is a charity or something like that, just know that they're here to compete in their finances and career. They're here to place their financial gain and control over imparting the spiritual insight. So they don't want you to have this, they don't want you to be empowered to, although you serve them with a free and loving heart, the incentive to keep you needy is that they want to have more financial gain and control, okay? So let's see, group 2. What is the current gossip on you? Okay. Yeah, you're the guy. Some of you guys might have been drawn to pile 3 in the last gossip video, which was yesterday. Yeah, we have the rebel and the shadow aspects, and then We have the teacher. Yeah, you definitely take on the role as a teacher. And so, you know, you're just like, okay, I don't have to be on the camera. I don't need a camera to capture this moment. I definitely don't need a camera to capture this moment, especially when all of you sit around capturing it for me. Okay? But I think that these people, although you're their teacher, their servant, and their guide, representing the nature of the divine in life and in yourself, they're deliberate, disloyal losers. Okay? And like I was getting before, they even if you've served them, they take advantage of the needy. They take advantage of the charity. They take advantage of nonprofits. They steal from the weaker and less fortunate people so that they can place their financial gain and control over imparting the spiritual insight. They are not really a mutual dream of teaching people. They're not really a mutual dream of serving people. They're people who try to reject your legitimate authority out of anger, peer pressure, or fashion. There has become a pattern. There's like a pattern of violence or a pattern of behavior where you probably could create a function to express it. Okay, where there are people who just even though you are their guide, their servant, their loving heart, their knowledge, they will turn around and not honor a financial commitment because it is fashionable to do something. It's like something where they have a they'll do something destructive. They'll have a destructive impulse to reject your authority because they get angry about something that you taught them. It's like something where they'll get angry about something that you taught them, or they'll get angry because it's fashionable to do that. Like there's a group of people that's just sitting around like, no, we're not gonna pay the royalties. No, we're not gonna include them. No, they're on the pretty punishment. Oh no, we're gonna act like we're not getting taught by them. And it's literally because it's fashionable to do that. I'm hearing it's very popular to hate you. Okay, even though you serve everyone with a free and loving heart. You've done a lot of this without money, and a lot of you you are represented in everything that they do, and you are a spiritual system that serves them, you know, by communicating knowledge, skill, experience, and wisdom. And then they'll like create from what you've taught them, and then like rebel against you by not paying a royalty or not collaborating, or like doing something disrespectful in the press, or doing something weird, you know, out of like a fashion of people to sit around and like challenge your. I'm like, it's fashionable, like people started like bonding, or like there's a fashion statement around like rejecting your authority, even though like they ultimately were like you're like their teacher and their boss or something like that. And it's like a fashion to sit around, like it's like fashionable to like sit around and dress like you, or to act like you are not like their spiritual system that serves them. And it's really because they want to compete for like finances and career or something like that. Okay, so I forget where we left off group 2, but you know, this situation, it's very fashionable to reject your authority. Okay, it's very, because they say that you have an unfair advantage, and these are the people who are justified leaving you without a home, and you just like serve them, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so I think that, you know, we're about to really say goodbye to a lot of people in this matter, because you are a legitimate authority, and they just are angry about what you've taught them and have gotten offended by your enlightenment. Okay, some of these people were peer pressured by a group of ugly people or a group of husky people. They get peer pressured a lot, and they really just break down their commitments because of peer pressure or fashion, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so, you know, let's see what's going on here with group 2. Okay, let's get the current gossip on you. So, depression and anxiety, the second house, the Fourth Amendment. Okay. I think that, this could be a continuation from Power 1, but I think that these are the people who grew enraged about your possessions, okay? Because your possessions reflected, they weren't hyper-consumeristic, like, you taught people about hyper-consumerism with your possessions. And now they want you to, like, defend your possessions or defend why you have nice things or something like that. And it's like something where your possessions enhance your life, and so the people who left you without a home or or people through the Fourth Amendment that stole your possessions, they're like looking at your stuff now, and they just are like they're looking at your stuff now, and it taught them about how they were hyper-consuming and envious of your possessions because it reflected your values. It reflected your personal liberty that you've addressed. It reflected, maybe they even reflect possessions that help you cope with your depression and anxiety. And I think that your possessions, are a big part of your reputation and social image, okay? Because they reflect your values and what you value and how you value, and how those values led to an expansion of the self, or expansion of your financial capability. This gossip is, people know that you struggle with anxiety and depression about your house, because so many people have been like trying to steal your house. And I also feel like there has been, this is really sad, about to, it's like literally you are like this servant, free and loving heart, delighting in giving to others. And then, you just have to teach them but it's like something where you have to teach them so much so that they can stop being envious of your possessions, and stop them from like making an excuse as to why they're not paying their royalties, or making excuses as to why they're not why they're leaving you without a house. Okay, something where they're making an excuse as to why they're leaving you without a house, or leaving you without the things that you've needed. Some of these people have searched and seized your home. Some of these people have searched and seized lockers. They have been obsessed with your possessions because they represent high values, and you taught them how to possess the self with the values that you preach, and the possessions that you have, they're fashion. It's like something where people will try to go get the same fashion or something like that because it reflects your value, but that's like, they're angry at the fact that you have the possession, or they're angry at the fact that your values reflected a greater personal freedom than theirs, and that they reflect like that they reflect your establishment, and that they don't have establishment the way that you do. It's like it's like you mimicking my possessions doesn't give you the same establishment. So that's also strange that you would try to reject a legitimate authority by trying to build your house upon the rock when you don't have an establishment or innovation to do that. A bitch could never, truly. And so that's why they're justifying, this violation of your house and unreasonable searches. Like, they're obsessed with your stuff and your house and like the values that you have, because you maybe like this, if this was like a subversive government, when they saw your home, or when they started seizing and searching your home, it was because they didn't want you to have these possessions reflecting the values in society, because they know that they reflect the divine in life and in yourself, and that whatever convention or spiritual system that that was previously established didn't serve us. And so that was the they will be going out of, I think that especially if this was a matter of business, you came in with the higher value, with the value added proposition, or you disillusioning an establishment of a spiritual system that didn't serve us. I think that you have been very well in dismantling this, but they are angry that you've dismantled something that was established because it represents a new attainment, a new level, a new, I don't know, you're a new standard of beauty, or you're a new level of achievement that was previously thought to be impossible, or they never thought that you could attain this kind of financial capability. And some of you guys did this by surviving a destruction that was meant to leave you without possessions and homes. And it was because of peer pressure and fashion. It's like they wanted to make you the fashion, but they didn't want people to have the spiritual insight to, because it would dismantle an economic relationship or economic entity that no longer serves us, which means that they would be going out of business or losing economic power. Okay, so that's the current gossip on you, group 2. Let's get more about what could be happening in this matter. They hated that you were yourself and that you didn't subscribe to their idolatry. They hated that you didn't have the same possessions as them. Like when these celebrities or government officials saw your life and possessions, they grew obsessed that you were not like them. Like they might have seen you as having some of the same privileges, but they saw that you were married, or you were just like this working class person that just had nice values and a nice life at home. And they knew that, like, especially if you were like a brown girl social media account, like lifestyle account or something like that, they didn't want people to see how to address these personal freedoms. They didn't want people to see these possessions. They didn't, because it was like it would dismantle an economic entity that didn't serve our spiritual needs, right? That's the hidden motivation. That's the root. That's the heart of the matter. Is that you hated the way group 2 possessed themselves, how their possessions reflected their strong values of personal freedom. That didn't mean that we needed a camera to capture this moment. It meant that we needed stability and education to capture this moment. And now with all of that, even though it's like something where the gossip is even that, like, these people rebelled against you out of peer pressure and fashion, started, like, I'm hearing a group and troop of people. They seized your property. Like some of you, your belongings came up missing. They stole things from you, or they never supported you openly or something like that. And this was why. It was because they were doing something subversive, or they were angry. Okay, so they were angry about the information that you provided them that dismantled an economic entity that didn't serve their spiritual needs. Okay, like plastic surgery or an inverted shaped ass. We have the stork, and we have the mediator. Yeah, these are like, this mediation is with a woman who, this could be a woman or someone, in the ancestry who started to seize you. I'm hearing that there has still been no warrant for their arrest. This could be a celebrity, a public figure, or idolatry. This person, they found you doing your service, okay, on the internet, or something through the 6th house, where you were maybe you were even experiencing a reversal in your fortune. Maybe you were in a crisis or adversity, and they saw that you were focused on, you had an intrinsic motivation to build your home. Like, your possessions are very intentional, and so they have been here since the onset, this ancestry. And there's a huge fight about your home, or they're very angry about your marriage or something like that. Okay, you could be getting married now. I think that, sorry, let me think. What was I saying? There could be like, this family has really been, like, they have been coming around to, to like where you have been established as an economic entity and have been a spiritual system. Okay, and your possession, they've literally watched your possessions enhance your life, or they've watched you move forward in life without having money. They've watched you serve. They benefited from your service and helping them like enhance their life by not, by releasing like some kind of hyper consumerism. And it's like something where they left you without a house, or they stole your papers, and really unreasonably violated you so that they can like make you the fashion, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that this motivation to, like, if your belongings came up missing, or this involves like a older woman, I'm hearing a woman in the environment, like their name could start with the letter B or a letter A, or a letter R. These women searched and seized your house, property, and papers so that they can bind themselves to your ancestry and family, because they saw your papers, your house, and possessions as a spiritual system, to enhance your life, and to enhance personal freedom. And so they used the information that you gave them to enhance their personal freedom, but left you without homes, or did something unreasonable. And this was all like an invasion of privacy. It was all like, they were in your, I'm hearing they were looking through your wallet and your pocketbook or something like that. They have really been like, you're like, you're not a member of my family and ancestry. And they were just forceful in creating these karmic contracts where now you're like, I don't want anything. You're like something where it's like the gossip on you is that like you don't want anything to do with these people because they've left you without a home and made some type of excuses as to why it was okay to unreasonably search and seize your property, because they were obsessed with they were obsessed with your fashion, or they were obsessed with your life as like this working class person, or this person that just really had reached stability by addressing their personal freedoms through, knowledge and information and going to school, and so they wanted to do it out of fashion. I'm hearing that they left you without a home so that they can make you the fashion, and so that they can place their financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Some of these people made music about you. These people, they mimic everything that you do. And it's because they were really violating and searching and seizing. Like, it's like they were literally obsessed with you, a subversive government or a celebrity or public figure, someone who found you doing your service, and they started to violate your house because they just wanted your like possessions to be fashion and not like honor you. I think that you guys are now superstars. They couldn't get away with it, but I think that their intentions were never pure. Okay, they actually left. It's like now they're trying to come around and act like family, but all this searching and seizing of your home and property and papers to make you a fashion statement gave you a lot of depression and anxiety. Like, they created a psychological illness, and they had a lot of psychological harm, and you're like, no, I'm not interested. Like, something where the gossip is like, they thought that you would forgive them after they rebuild your legitimate authority out of anger, peer pressure, or fashion, left you without the things that you needed when you were a humble servant, not looking for the same fame, not looking for any of that, not looking entitled for a music career, not interested in any of that, just looking for a home, and to have possessions that make you happy. And they expect you to like be family after they put you through an adversity and created a psychological disorder. No, we're not family. It's like something where they're like, oh, that's just their way of doing things, or that's just their, oh, they thought, I think that a lot of them may have even had a change of heart. It's been a long road with these people. And it's like they were obsessed with the way that you addressed your personal freedom. And so I think that made you feel very uncomfortable. And now they want to come around and act like family. And you're like, no, I'm just here to mediate my inheritance. I just want my royalties. I'm not here to make family with people who created a psychological disorder by unreasonably violating my house and my papers and becoming obsessed with my diary and what I write and how I express myself. That's an invasion of privacy. That's weird. And I wasn't like, you can't just be like forcing yourself to be family with someone. I didn't ask to be family with you. You're just obsessed with my mind, obsessed with my beautiful mind, obsessed with my writing, obsessed with my book, obsessed with my possessions, obsessed with my authority, obsessed with everything. Like, I was paying you, I don't even know you. Like, something where this is like a subversive government, corrupt government, a celebrity that's an economic entity. And they had been, they started looking at your possessions and your personal freedoms, and they get obsessed. Like, something where they got obsessed and started violating unreasonably, and this created a psychological disorder. And it's been a long road, and now they're trying to come around like, oh, we see that this was all about the self and not about, our hyper-consumeristic, sex, money, and power-driven motivations. And we were just trying to make you the fashion. And you're like, what? I'm good on that. I don't want to talk to them. You're not working with them. And they're like, well, we can make, they're trying to offer you, they're trying to mediate the punishment or something like that. Or they're trying to offer you a place within their family, or they're trying to offer you a job. They're trying to offer you, ask you to join them. And you're just like, after creating depression and anxiety within adversity and abusing your authority position, no. So that's the gossip, and that's like, they're like, damn, they can't believe you survived and made something tangible for yourself, despite this group of people abusing their authority. Like, and you were just there serving them, and they wanted to keep you needy as a servant. And it was like popular to reject your authority because they were so angry that you were in this humble authority position, that you weren't a hyper consumer the way that they were. They were offended by your expressions and enlightenment around consumerism because your possessions were different than theirs, or better than theirs, or just reflected a higher value. You are truly a hypergamous, high value person, and they were just the prostitutes placing their physical or their physical security over their self-empowerment. And that's why they were obsessed. And now they're like, oh, now that you've made something tangible for yourself, after we stole your property and became obsessed with your writing and mind to try to make you a fashion in the government that was totally illusory, or they tried to, like, they did something totally illusory, or they did something to brainwash people with your fashion and possessions. And that was like very scary and spooky. And they tried to, like, it was literally like a long road with these people where you've had to teach and serve them a lot without a home or without everything that you've needed. And they see that you were able to make something tangible for yourself and anyway. And now after, becoming successful or, adapting through their like harassment, they're coming around trying to mediate because they don't have a choice now. And they're so burdened by the fact that you chose not to work with them. But it's like, why would I want to work with someone who like violated their oath of office? Like, that's so strange, to brainwash people. Like, their intentions were not pure. They were very unreasonable and invaded your privacy. Like, it's so scary because you didn't know these people, and they became obsessed with your mind and possessions to make you a fashion statement and to reject your authority and leave you without the things that you needed. It's like they created a dynamic where it would be very difficult for you to recover because they attacked your mind and your possessions. They attacked the essence of who you are. And so if they made you a fashion statement and you were able to make something tangible for yourself anyway after they were rejecting a legitimate authority, it would be hard. They knew that it would be hard for you to challenge this previous economic entity that stole your identity and unreasonably searched you. Like this Virgo, or this person whose name starts with the letter B. It's like something where they were obsessed with your papers, house, and possessions, and tried to make you a fashion statement and tried to put you in a situation where you could not recover with the depression and anxiety and psychological illness that they created, like, because they were obsessed. Like something, and then they expected you to like want to chill and hang out. Like, no, I'm not hanging out with you. You were obsessed with me. I don't hang out with people who become obsessed with me. Oh my God, not the adversity. The Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands. Yeah, they were very burdened by your house and papers. Yeah, the Chariot, totally out of control. We're not working with them. That's weird. That's so weird. Like, why are you like trying to fight somebody and make it like it's a legitimate authority, and they keep trying to make you a fashion statement or something like that? They really want to be family, but I think that you're like, this is a family dispute where you're like, no. You might have been around from at the onset, but you were a negative force and destructive skill to try to stop, undermine your service, your charity, swindling. This was a swindling thief. This Virgo, I'm hearing that these elites or this subversive government, they were swindling thieves to try to stop your manifestation from becoming tangible. And they literally, like, y'all, this is spooky. They literally got out of control searching and seizing your property. Like, they got out of control, obsessed with you, to try to, like, because they were angry at what the enlightenment that you shared. And they're like, they tried to make you a fashion statement instead, so that, like, people, when they saw your establishment, that it would challenge a brainwashing. Okay, oh my God. That's so scary. Y'all so scared. I know these people who were around from the onset. You know, if they're wearing your fashion, that means that they were around stealing and unreasonably searching and seizing. If they're wearing your fashion, that means that they're obsessed with you. That these were the people who were violating your Fourth Amendment rights. These were the people who LOL, who were like literally seized, who were like, they were seizing things. And that's like spooky, because you're like, why did this person become obsessed with me? Like, oh my God, that's the scariest thing ever. Like, no. Like, if they're wearing your fashion, but they have not, that means that they're going to court for the dispute of the inheritance. Okay. Thank you so much, group 2. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, group 3. Last but not least, welcome to your selection. So you chose the pink tiger. Okay. Tell Ed Sheeran happy birthday. Thank you for bringing us rose. He said play deluxe. One way or another, we gonna get it. Okay. Okay. Let's hop into this. Pick a card. What's going on today? What's the current gossip on you today, group 3? I immediately heard when I turned on the camera that people, you know, the gossip is that you communicate very well. Okay, you're communicating very well, and your ability to communicate about this matter is really giving a lot of people L's. Okay, because that means that you found expression, or you found the conscious skills, you've gotten a basic grasp around what has happened in this matter. And so this grasping and your ability to communicate the knowledge, skills, and experience is making a lot of things and people lose their value. Okay, what you're communicating is making people and things lose their value. Okay, group 3, what's the current gossip on you? Okay, what's the current gossip on you, group 3? Ugh, group 2 freak me out. We have the damsel, we have the nature child, the artiste in this bitch for real, and then the trickster. Okay. So this is really interesting. Okay, there's definitely gossip in this situation. A lot of you, you know, there is they expected you to be a convention. Okay, so, but some of you guys were just this loving child that had friendships with animals and nature spirits. I think that you have now become this renowned artist, but you've had to transcend a lot of convention stuffiness and predictable behavior. I think that the biggest challenge, or the black magic projection in this matter, defense mechanism projection, is a people who seduce people with romantic illusions. Okay, because you are not a damsel in distress, you lose a lot of these fights, because the conventional, stuffy, and predictable behavior is that especially if this is about a romantic partner, they are often seduced by a romantic illusion or a displacement, you know, defense mechanism. They're often seduced with duplicity. And it's often a betrayal, trickery, deceit, and lies. People who just wait for men or knights to provide for them. But you are an exceptional, renowned artist, and you provide for yourself. You provide heaven on earth, financially and spiritually, for yourself. And you have a talent that is unmatched. And so you cannot be seduced by an illusion. You cannot be seduced by someone coming around and promising you the world. You can't be seduced by you can't be seduced. And so, your communication about, it's like something where you're setting a big difference apart. Like, you might be this beauty damsel, right? But you have relied on yourself, and you are a healthy romance, okay? And I think that they always project the damsel in distress onto you. They always project a romantic illusion onto you, but that's because that's what they were used to. That's their past relationship trauma, where they had romantic relationships with other people who had the tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. They had relationships with people who may have had artistry, like King B, but they used their talent as an excuse to mistreat others, like violating their Fourth Amendment rights and becoming obsessed with their house, papers, and properties to make them a fashion statement. These are the people that manipulate others through duplicity. These are the people who try to seduce people with romantic illusions. Some of these people are catfishes, okay, or they're not considered beautiful. So they definitely can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, something that they do that where people are more willing to provide for the conventional losers than they are the exceptional talent, right? Because they see you as not needing anything, okay? So let's get more though. Let's see what is the current gossip on group 3. The way that you communicate about this matter shows that you are a maven, and it helps people. This was the third eye chakra activation that you gave everybody a tower. When they projected the romantic illusion or the seduction, the negative seduction, when they projected the Jezebel onto you, that was actually this other person that may have a similar feature or may have a similar privilege, but that was really they were really the ones that were the romantic illusion. They were really the abusive people to the animals, the people in the environment. They were really the people using their talent to mistreat others. Okay, they were really trying to elicit pity or doing something duplicitous as well. Okay, so the way that you've communicated, people are gossiping about how these people were just thriving on they were just thriving on falsehoods. Okay, and something where you help people discern a romantic illusion or a seduction of a romantic illusion, like plastic surgery, or some kind of catfish came out, okay? Some kind of catfish came out, or something, the truth came out, okay, about somebody. So group 3, you are divinely protected. Yeah, we're not working with those people, okay? You're very protected, and if they haven't been able to do anything now, they won't. So the plot twist or the spoiler alert in this situation is that you've always been divinely protected against their conventional, stuffy, and predictable behavior. You've always been protected against seduction of a romantic illusion. You've always been protected against these people who have been using their talent to mistreat others. You've always been protected against their abuse, and you'll continue to get protected. And this, like I said, spoiler alert, the evil doesn't win. Okay? So don't be scared, friend. They literally have already lost. So by you reaching your optimal level of achievement, or you reaching this maven status, or you reaching this peak position, you getting to you getting a basic grasp around this thing, and being able to communicate the skill, experience, and knowledge is dismantling something false. A convention. Divine feminine energy. Of course you're divine feminine energy. We already knew that though, so we don't know what's going on. They're just toxic, and it's disheartening and troubling. But I think that a lot of, this is a fear of intimacy. If this is a romantic partner that they're talking about, they see that you and this person are very intimate, but this person, the karmic challenge in a matter could be that, a lot of reasons as to why, the masculine won't honor the divine feminine is because they're seduced by a romantic illusion. And it's really like, that's really their defensiveness of intimacy. They know that with you, they have to have a healthy romance, that you rely on yourself, and so that they can't do anything to seduce you with a romantic illusion or to control you. And so divine feminine energy cannot be controlled. There's a difference between submission and controlled. When a masculine is unhealed, they will try to seduce a feminine with a romantic illusion. They will try to get the feminine to rely on them. They will abuse the feminine. They will mistreat the feminine. They might even do something duplicitous to the feminine, or they might do something conventional, stuffy, and predictable with the feminine. But that activation from the divine masculine always leads to the divine feminine's fullest expression and fullest embodiment. This destruction of the divine masculine had marked you with an extreme receptivity that associated with the fertility and creativity and intuition that have been unmatched. Okay, especially if there were people harassing you, they could not outbeat your intuitive strategy. There was no computer that could depopulate and deregulate your economic institution. These people, you are soft, still, compassionate, and calm, but you rely on yourself, and you cannot get trapped in you don't, like something where you may have gone into separation, because the divine masculine was toxic. Okay, they were toxic, and they mistreated you or did something conventional. It was a conventional or predictable behavior, and you're like, I already expected that to happen, so I'm so happy that I got away from you fast. Something where you got away from a man fast, or you took a break, or you got away from whatever that they were doing to try to seduce you. It's like you were like, I'm gonna just go rely on myself. Something that they saw you separate and go rely on yourself. And they see, like, since you did that, they see that you received something since doing that, and you were extremely fertile or did something extremely creative in a situation. And they know that means that, like, they have to do something intimate, because then they will be partaking in the fertility and creativity. Oh, I'm so done. Why does the divine masculine do this? They'll literally go off with something that, like, they'll literally try to choose. They'll choose everything but the divine feminine. And it's because they know that this divine feminine has this fertility and creativity, this book, baby, and business. And they know that, being with the divine feminine is a healthy romance, where the divine feminine was relied on themselves through their activation and their destruction, and created something from it, right? And they know that it represents a high level of intimacy. Okay, LOL. Okay, but their conventional and stuffy and predictable behavior is that they'll go off with somebody or something that doesn't represent their creativity and fertility. Okay, and so some of you, they're literally just trying to use your creativity and fertility and trying to prop up a white supremacist around it. Okay, and that's the romantic illusion, is that the romantic illusion is that conservative white bitch is not your partner. That's an illusion. Oh, okay. LOL. Let's keep going, friend. What's the current gossip on you? It's like you got your own gang, you got your own family, you got white people that love you, you got black people that love you, you got your own shit. So you own, bitch. Okay. And I think that also the conventional, stuffy, and predictable behavior is that they have an issue with your age difference. Okay, and so they wanted you to be seduced by their controlling, patriarchal energy, and you were like, I'm gonna rely on myself, and I don't want to have a relationship where I'm codependent because I'm a child, right? And they see you go off and mature yourself and become a woman, and that means that you are older woman or a good woman, and that means that they have to have a real intimacy that they can't be intimate with you out of control or something like that. Okay, but that those abusive behaviors, or them trying to control the outcome. So the conventional behavior is that they'll choose unhealed feminine energy because that's something that they can control with an illusion, okay? The moon. Yeah, I think that you and this person, you have, they see you as a good person, but I think that, they send you a lot of information. They send you a lot of notes and letters to help you know that you're the lover. But I think that, during this time, they are still reconciling some varied emotions with other children or other people that they felt were good people. But those, they might have been romantic illusions, or they may have been just, children and women that were waiting for them to provide, and that they never were marked. They were never activated by the divine masculine energy. They never created anything fertile. They were never fertile, or they never created anything, okay? Or they were not soft, still, and compassionate. And that was like something that's a dynamic that they can control with money, sex, and power, right? That's a transactional relationship. Whereas with you, they have to reconcile varied emotions and have a deep intimacy, okay? And I think that they are, but you felt like there's been a lot of evil spirit around this matter, okay? Or a lot of people attacking the heart of the matter, okay? But I think that you have been able to achieve empathy, because they were really, this problem was that they were rationalizing their undesirable behavior because you were a good lady that relied on yourself and just wanted a real intimacy, not an intimacy where somebody tried to control you with money, okay? So, or control you because you were a child, and that they would still have other options or other people that they needed to go see. You're just like, if it's not what you're into, then it's not what you're into, right? If you want to like choose where you want to be, if you want to, like they're seduced by illusions with unhealed masculine energy, and it's clear that they're not fertile and creative, or it's clear that they've been mistreating, or that they have been abusive, or that they've been duplicitous, and so they're just reconciling their varied emotions. I think a lot of them know who their lover is, because they see so many, they send you so many letters and talk to you all day, okay? From dawn until night is what I'm hearing, okay? They talk to you all day. And so the more information that you share with one another, the more you're able to break down, the abuse, okay? Or break down, or understand, or achieve empathy, okay? With the Ten of Cups reverse, this relationship that you have with this person is unfulfilling because they want to control you really bad, okay? And because you are a good lady, or you could be a younger lady, they see you as a child and they want to control your career and want to control how you do everything. And you're like, I rely on myself and I want to have a healthy romance, not someone who uses age difference as a reason to abuse me, not someone who does something conventional, stuffy, and predictable by choosing everybody but the divine feminine, okay? And that just means you have a really unhappy relationship with them, okay? Yeah, King of Cups reverse. Yeah, I'm hearing that you're the divine feminine, and there's unhealed masculine energy that keeps throwing emotional tantrums. And this person shows emotional weakness. That's what I'm hearing. There's emotional insecurity related to compassion that they feel for these unhealed feminine energy that tried to seduce them with a romantic illusion, or just wanted them to provide for them, or or people who just do, or they feel that you might have abused them in a way or something like that, but I see you as a good person. You were the one getting abused is what I'm hearing. And so they keep showing emotional insecurity or weakness to people, unhealed feminine energies that who have abused their authority, who have been abusive to animal people in the planet, who have used their talent to mistreat, or have done something else duplicitous because they just wanted, them to provide. They were not actually having an intimate relationship, and this is just a superficial, conventional behavior that you are really, really used to. It's like they keep making excuses. Oh, but they're a child, or they're a good lady. Or like, no, they're not. They're abusive. They're duplicitous. They're just waiting for you to provide for them. That's not real intimacy. They're just mirroring the divine feminine to try to create as a tantrum. They mirror you to throw a tantrum like about your intimate relationship. And this is like they're having a conventional problem of emotional insecurity relating to compassion about their experience, because they see you as being able to rely on yourself, or they see you as this independent mind, or they see you as healthy, and they keep trying to like make excuses as to why they they associate with these people who, you know, like where they're just like really unfulfilling relationships. And so they make their relationship with their divine feminine unfulfilling as well. It's like you really just lose everything. It's like for people who are just illusions, you leave your divine feminine unhappy for illusions. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. Group 3, you are divinely protected. This person, they have the tendency to flee the relationship. They have scattered energy. You may have seen them sending letters to other people, or sending communication to other people to associate with people who are misusing and abusing you. And I think that is, it makes you, it separates you from them a lot, okay? But I think that you have been able to achieve compassion in the situation, but it's something where it actually leads to harming you in a way. It leaves you unfulfilled in a way, okay? Because they keep associating with unhealed feminine energy, and they project onto them being children, or project onto some kind of facade that they're wearing as a good lady, when they're really just waiting for somebody. They're trying to seduce them with an illusion, or trying to get them to provide for them also. And you're like, I don't share, so we won't have a relationship because I don't share with no person pretending to be a child or pretending to be a good lady. You can have that life by yourself. Okay? I'll see you at court. Thank you so much, Group 3. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you in the next one.